If your app accepts user text or images, or feeds prompts into a large language model, you own a moderation problem. Rolling your own keyword filter is brittle and culturally blind. Azure AI Content Safety gives you a managed classifier for harmful content with severity scoring, plus dedicated defenses for prompt injection. In the next few minutes, I'll break down the mental model, the 4 harm categories, and how severity actually works, the Python call that does the analysis, where it sits in your architecture, the knobs that matter, and the gotchas that bite in production. This is a deep dive on the mechanism, not a feature tour. Content safety is not a yes or no block list. Think of it as a classifier that scores a piece of content across 4 harm categories: hate, sexual, violence, and self-harm. Each category gets an independent severity score, so a single comment can be low on violence but high on hate. Your job is to decide the threshold at which you act. The service doesn't make the block decision for you. It returns numbers, and your application enforces policy. That separation is the key insight. Microsoft owns the model, you own the threshold and the consequences. For text, the analyze endpoint can return severity on a 0 to 7 scale, giving you 8 discrete levels of harm. There's also a trimmed mode that collapses to 4 levels: 0, 2s, forbids, and 6. 0 means safe, and the numbers climb with intensity and explicitness. The practical rule of thumb: don't hardcode a single global cutoff. Hate at severity 2 in a gaming chat is different from self-harm at severity 2 in a teen wellness app. Tune each category separately and log the raw scores so you can revisit thresholds with real data instead of guesses. Severity definitions evolve, so check the current Azure docs for the exact scale. Here's the actual analysis in Python. You create a content safety client with your endpoint and key, build an analyze text request, and read back the categories analysis. Each item carries a category name and a severity integer. Notice there's no built-in allow or deny field. You compare severity against your own threshold. In real code, pull the key from key vault, not a literal, and wrap this in retry logic for transient throttling. In a generative AI app, moderation belongs on both sides. Before you call the model, run the user prompt through content safety and through prompt shields, which detects jailbreak and injection attempts. After the model responds, screen the output too, because the model can produce harmful text even from innocent prompts. Put this orchestration in your API layer or a function, never in the browser, so thresholds and keys stay server-side. Storing flagged content for audit is fine, but be deliberate about retention and privacy. Beyond category thresholds, 2 features earn their keep. Custom block lists let you add domain-specific terms, competitor names, internal code words, slurs the base model underweights, and match them exactly alongside the AI classification. Prompt shields is a separate endpoint focused purely on jailbreak and indirect attacks embedded in documents. And for images, the analyze image endpoint scores the same 4 categories. Don't treat any of these as set and forget. Review false positives weekly and adjust, because user creativity outpaces static rules. A few things bite people. First, latency. Every moderation call adds round-trip time, so screening input and output doubles your overhead. Batch or parallelize where you can. Second, throttling. There are requests per second limits, so add retries with backoff and expect 429 responses under load. Third, language and context. Accuracy varies by language, and the model judges short snippets without conversation context, which drives false positives. Fourth, cost. It's priced per 1,000 records, so screening every message at scale adds up. Sample low-risk traffic if budget matters. Always confirm limits and pricing in the current Azure docs before you commit a design. To recap, content safety scores content across 4 harm categories with a severity scale. It doesn't decide for you. and you enforce per category thresholds in your own server-side layer. For generative apps, screen both prompt and response, and add prompt shields against injection. Watch latency, throttling, and cost. Here's your one concrete action. Don't ship a single global threshold. Start by logging raw severity scores in shadow mode without blocking anything. Gather a week of real traffic, then set per category cutoffs from that data. Measure before you enforce, and check the current docs for the latest scale and limits. If this helped, do me a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe, and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one. See you in the next video.